Good morning. Right, this lesson package is centered and focused on formal letter writing. Now, we'll be looking at what a formal letter is, importantly, the definition of a formal letter. We also look at format, PACC, and as well as a suggested approach to a formal letter writing task. So, what is a formal letter? Well, basically, a formal letter is a letter written officially for a specific purpose. Remember, it's official, and you must have a reason or a purpose for writing that letter. Now, this letter or the letter that you're writing, which is formal, is usually addressed to a specific audience, and it follows a specific format. The language used is also official and formal. Now, for this lesson, we're going to look at two types of format when one is writing formal letters or formal letters to external organization or within the organization. So external and internal. For format one, you need to follow the format for writing to someone, to an audience, which is external, means to an external organization. Format 2 will be when you want to write to an authority or to someone within the organization. For example, to school authorities. Okay, so let's look at writing a formal letter to an external organization, right? So remember type 1 or format 1. Now for these format, usually you start with your name first, all right? And then Samantha Ong, for example, and then indicate your address, home address, and then followed by the date, and then the person you're writing to and destination, and the organization, right? And then the salutation as well. Right, so basically this is type A. Start with your name, your home address, and then followed by the date, the person you're writing to, destination, in organization, as well as the address of that particular organization. Now, following this would be the salutation, all right? What is also known as the opening salutation. After that, you would also have to include the subject line, right? In this case, the cleanliness of ABC Mall. And then after that, you will have your introduction, right? The introduction, usually you have to identify yourself and then state the background as well as the purpose of your writing that letter to this organization. There's always the body, which are the details or what's known as the content, and then followed by that will be a closing. Right, that's basically the format of writing the formal letter to the external organization. For writing to an authority or to someone within the organization, you need to include your name, your destination, whether you're the class chairperson, or whether you're the president of the club, and then you also have to indicate the person you're writing to his or her name, the destination, and of course the subject line, and the rest follows the same as the format for writing to the external organization, someone in the external organization. You still need your introduction, your body, the content, and where's the closing. All right, so do be very familiar on the format of writing formal letters. Now, remember, do not leave a line after every sentence. Leave a line only after each paragraph. All right? So I repeat again, do not leave a line after every sentence, but leave a line only after each paragraph. Now, let us dwell more on PCC. We first discuss more on purpose, right? In the introductory paragraph, it is important that you introduce yourself, because your name and then your designation. For example, are you the president of a particular club? Are you the class chairperson? And then also let the person you're writing to know the background and the purpose of you writing that particular letter. For example, you may be asking for sponsorship, or you may be giving ideas for improvement, and so on. Because A stands for audience, and audience means you must be very clear on whom you are writing to. Who are you writing to? It could be someone of high authority. Usually, it's the case. The form teacher, or the principal, or the head of department, or to an external organization. It could be a manager, that you are going to be giving feedback to, and so on. Now, for context, you must give details and elaborate on all the bullet points that are mentioned in the formal letter writing task. Right? If there are 3 bulleted points, then you must actually give details and elaborate on all these 3 bulleted points. Now, do not merely copy the words from the visual text. You must be able, to give your own ideas or add on relevant information, and also use other words other than those that are in the visual text. Now, for context, consider the situation you are in. All right, you must be very clear. Other than knowing the role, other than knowing who you're writing to, and also the purpose, you must also consider the situation you are in. All right, and use the appropriate language, right, in writing that particular letter. The tone is very important, right? In fact, tone is very important. You know that when you're writing a formal letter, you must use appropriate tone. For example, if you use words like "I want you to know," and insist, that you approve my ideas. Now, that kind is inappropriate. That tone is inappropriate, right? So it's important that you consider these factors. And now we're going to look at the formal letter writing task. I'm going to read to you the information in this paragraph. As the president of the Youth Volunteer Club, you were scouting around for volunteering opportunities when you came across this website. You thought this is a great chance to collaborate with Youth Core Singapore to execute meaningful service and learning projects that address community needs. You also believe that it will be a wonderful learning experience for the members under your charge. Now, you intend to propose some ideas to your principal, write a letter to your principal saying, now there are 3 bulleted points here. So I mentioned earlier just now that it is important that you elaborate on all 3 bulleted points. First bulleted point, TF1, which activity shown in the web page your club is interested to participate in, right? Why your club is interested to join the stated activity, and how participating in the activity will benefit the members. Now, for this particular task, right, the express students will have to suggest 2 and not 1, 2 activities, and why your club is interested to join these 2 activities. For the NA students, you only need to propose 1 stated activity. And when you talk about bulleted point number 3, express students, you must therefore talk about the benefits of these 2 stated activities. For the NA students, the benefits for the 1 proposed activity. Write your letter in clear, accurate English and in a convincing tone to persuade your principal to accept your ideas. you should write your own words as much as possible. So let me repeat again. It is important for you to write in the appropriate tone, right? And also to use your own words as far as possible. Do not just lift every information or every single sentence or word from the visual text. You need to be able to rephrase and use some of your own words appropriately, of course, as well as include relevant information, and then from this you'll be able to apply them in the contextual sense, right? Okay, so it's very important that you try to use your own words as much as possible. Now let me go through with you this important checklist, right? It's important that when you do a formal letter writing task, that you have a checklist, make sure that you have met all the requirements, right? So did you identify the PACC in the above task? So always remember, you must complete the formal letter writing task. And did you identify the purpose, the audience, the content, as well as the context, right, in the above task? So in this case, I read to you just now, you should be able to identify the purpose, the audience, the content, and the context. Also, did you label the bullet points as TF1, TF2, and TF3? Sometimes it could even be a A and a B. So important that you identify and label the bullet points, examine the visual stimulus, and also tag the information to the bullet points, right? And also attempt to paraphrase using your own words rather than just lifting every single word of information from the visual stimulus. So in the visual stimulus, there are actually three activities. And for these three activities, any students, you choose and propose one, and for the express students, you will propose two activities. So it could be Kids Fun School Holiday Series, which is actually the coding games for kids. Right, importantly, remember we have to read the information very clearly. All right, who are you going to work with? In this case, for coding games for kids, you are going to actually work with the primary 1 to primary 3 pupils. Then you have the walk program as well as the nature in nurture program. So for the coding games for kids, some of the benefits would be that you can solve various puzzles and problems together, all right, together with the primary 1 to primary 3 pupils, and also amongst the club members, and pick up coding related skills such as computational thinking, sequencing, and debugging. Well, there's no coding experience or knowledge required, and you can also play games together and increase your confidence in solving problems. You can, when you say you can and put it into action. Now, this is important because whatever you learn, you really have to put them into action relevantly and appropriately. All right, so remember to put conscientious effort in knowing the requirements, how to apply these strategies or techniques you have learned, and then do it well. So, be the best that you can be. Let me repeat again. Be the best that you can be. All the best.